Well, my dear friends, just imagine that Vladimir Putin actually lived out his ultimate dream and made it to 150 years old. He made it. And then, the average Russian born today wouldn't live to see his end. See? And their children wouldn't live to see it either. Perhaps their grandchildren would. Perhaps some Japanese individuals, given their remarkably high longevity, might indeed live to see it. Just a select few, perhaps, would be fortunate enough to experience it. That Putin could even conceivably make it into the 22nd century, a time when you and I are already long gone. That would be 104 full years of his rule. Just try to imagine what a truly huge dream he has. That's like 2 Ivan the Terribles, or 3 Stalins, or 6 Brezhnevs, for example, or 13 Yeltsins. Yes, he could ceremoniously accept the victory parade for the 150th anniversary of the victory in the Great Patriotic War. That's exactly what they're celebrating. And maybe he could even manage to fly to Uranus if he takes off now, right? It sounds like a dystopia, but for the Kremlin that's probably a dream. And for Putin, it even seems to be a deliberate plan. I still truly think that this idea was thrown at us so that we would discuss it thoroughly. Well, since it's been brought up, let's discuss it. Maybe he really does dream about something like that, but all predictions, even scientific ones, say otherwise. Science clearly sets the limit at 120, at most 125 years. No technology, neither cryonics nor genetic modification, delivers the result that Putin desires. By the way, greetings, friends. I didn't greet you earlier, but now that I have, please, it's really important that you like this video so we can meet more often and leave your comments. So now subscribe to the channel and even go to Telegram, find the channel Father Bodan and subscribe there too, because besides these popular topics, we also have truly important ones. The church, science, technology. We're pushing all of this forward together with you, so join us. Now let's not talk about Putin. Yes, just to take a little much-needed break. But overall, we will be discussing something truly important and significant with you, just like we comprehensively did in the previous informative video. So, objectively speaking, even with full access to the very best medical care, highly personalized nutritional programs, some form of therapeutic intervention, and comprehensive prevention strategies, well, 90 to 95 years is actually the absolute maximum. Science knows of such examples. Churchill himself lived to be 90, and Castro also lived to be 90. Helmut Schmidt lived for 96 years, just like Queen Elizabeth II. But we know that Castro, for example, hadn't been ruling for a long time by the time he was 90. Oh, the leader in Cuba was his brother, Raúl Castro. Queen Elizabeth was more of a symbolic figure, and she didn't exercise direct political power. That is to say, there are also significant things like dementia, like various types of brain degeneration that can occur in men and indeed in people in general, right? The human brain degenerates quite specifically. You can transplant a liver, perhaps even lungs, a hand, a leg, or something else entirely, an eye. I don't even know of such examples, but, well, for instance, right? So he might try to do many things, but truly ruling and governing an entire country is utterly impossible. People who lived to be 120 years old actually remained deeply elderly. And you know, there's also an interesting statistic about who exactly lives to be 120 or 110 years old. These individuals live in truly good families that genuinely love them, that carefully take care of them, and diligently look after them every single day. They find life to be incredibly interesting. They have an abundance of love. You see? I'm not entirely sure that Vladimir Putin truly has that in his family, because, well, he certainly leads a very stressful and demanding life, making critical decisions, orchestrating the killing of other people, deliberately starving his own people and tragically killing his own people as well. We also need to look at the statistics with you. It's a very interesting and quite remarkable thing, because with each passing year that goes by, the chances of living another year become progressively smaller and smaller indeed. And so, at 75 years old, the statistical chance of living on is only 80%. And at 80 years old, it's approximately 60% remaining. So at 85 years old, the chance of living another year is only 40%. And from 90 to 91 years old, the probability of surviving is only 20 to 25%. And after that, every year or even every month becomes a lottery, and the chance of reaching 93 years old, that is, living to 93, is, only, let me check. I have the statistics here. Since I looked it up, 15%. And making it to 96 is just 8%. And that's with the best medical care and the love and care of your loved ones. And when the whole world hates you, when you destroy the lives of other people, that chance gets smaller and smaller with each passing day. So even for Putin, the actual chance of living to a full 100 years is just one tiny percent. That's precisely how it is. And even in that particular scenario, even if he genuinely wants to and somehow manages to make it to 100, it will undoubtedly be a very deep, advanced old age, with a complete and utter loss of any adequate perception of reality. And his profound dream of living to a remarkable 150 years has absolutely no realistic chance of ever being realized. Contemporary science, with all its current advancements and deep understanding, knows of no such viable way. And here I want to recall the insightful words of one of Bulgakov's memorable characters, Mr. Wooland, who sagely observed that the truly strange thing is not merely that a person eventually dies, but rather that a person dies so unexpectedly. I love you all. I pray for each of you. All the best.